Hello friends, welcome back to another No Rush Show and Tell. So this episode I have one of my favorite somewhat obscure toy lines. I have some Air Raiders for you. I don't know how many folks that are watching these videos are really into toys, or if you're just sort of happening upon these things. Of course, no matter who you are, I'm very much appreciative of you for watching what I'm putting out there. But Air Raiders is one of my favorites, one of my obscure, somewhat unknown favorites from back in the day. I didn't have a ton of them growing up. I had a few. Most of them that I got were primarily from a place called Toy Liquidators, which was a kind of an outlet mall kind of store. They would always get the stuff that didn't sell, and of course Air Raiders. Sorry, you didn't sell that great. So I've got this Air Raiders Thunderclaw here, and of course I have it with the box. One of my favorite parts of these toys, and I'm just gonna slowly show you everything that I've got going on, and we can enjoy the wonders of this goofy toy line together. So first up, we have a box not in the best condition. You can see it wasn't sitting flat because there's a nice gnarly crease on the bottom here, but that's okay. I still love it. You can see this old Hasbro logo right here on the top corner. And you can see this lovely artwork of these two. I kind of picture these guys as best buddies. They went up through the academy, and they've been working together. They trained on the Thunderclaw, and this is what they're good at. They're amazing at driving this weird vehicle. So we can see, there comes with two figures. That's a big deal, back in the day. You were lucky if you got one, and this one's giving you two. You can also see a glimpse into the wonder that is the Air Raiders gimmick, which is they all operated off of these crazy air bladders that you would squeeze and activate some kind of feature, usually just kind of launching something. So here we have the top of the box. It's pretty much the same as the front. Here's the bottom of the Thunderclaw. We kind of already saw that with the crease. Air on the side. We have a nice glimpse at what the toy actually looks like. Kind of lets us know that we're going to have to assemble this bad boy. And then the other side reuses that same art from the front of the box that shows the delightful air bladder. And then finally, we have a glorious wide shot of the Air Raiders in battle with their enemies. Now let's see. Thunderclaw never lets go. Manned by Jason and Khan, two dedicated soldiers specially trained to place mission objectives above personal safety, possess lightning-fast reflexes and great courage. Vehicle type, Battle Dasher, two-seat multi-sensor offensive aircraft. Power plant, air cannon activated twin 15,000 ERG air-powered turbo boosters. Performance, highly maneuverable, can achieve air speed of Mach 2 in 18 seconds. Armament, two air-to-air, air-to-ground, short-range air hammer cannons, and indestructible Raider Claw. Onboard specifications, equipped with magnetic anomaly detectors that home in on deposits of galvanized air. Front-mounted blast-resistant Raider Claw clamps onto enemy vessels for boarding air cargo ships. And then here we have a general story bit there. Airlandia, a distant world where air is more precious than gold, where the cruel tyrants of wind have seized control of all the air. Only the Air Raiders, a band of valiant rebels, dare defy these evil dictators. With a convoy of air vehicles, these brave heroes battle the tyrants, struggling to restore the breath of freedom. Alright, well, if you've watched any of my other videos, you know it's not time to look at the toys. First, we need to look at all the paperwork. The first piece of paper I have is a used sticker sheet. Not a lot to say about that, but I always find these kind of neat. Second up, we have a little folded up insert that I believe is the cross cell. It shows us this is actually a mail order form that would have let us order this special kit that includes a full color relief map of Airlandia, the evil Emperor Erosar, and Baron Jolt, 12 air-powered Tyrant missiles, 12 air-powered Air Raiders missiles, and an air launch glider. That's pretty neat. Would have cost us $6 plus postage. And all the time I've been collecting these Air Raiders toys, I've never once looked close enough at this to see what this was. And now I have another thing to try and track down. So what I thought was the cross cell was an order form. But this is the cross cell. New from Hasbro. I don't think I'll be able to get all of this on screen at once. But we have a checklist on the left here. And then if I really back up, we can see this whole picture. I believe it's the same art that was on the back of the box. But here we can hang this up on our wall and actually see all this beautiful art. Look at this. It's so amazing to me to think that someone painted this. And it just ended up usually in the garbage after, a kid's parents opened the toy and threw away all of the extra stuff. Unless you had a family member who was that kind of person who would hang on to everything. So then on the other side, we do have our cross cell. We have the Twin Lightning, the Thunder Hammer, and the Man o' War. And we have the Command Outpost, the Battle Dashers, which our Thunderclaw is one of those, the Evil Battle Dashers, and we have the Hawk Wind, the Dragon Wind, and then the Air Refinery, which I believe is the Evil Tyrant's base camp. So you've got to collect them all, or else. Okay, we have one last piece of paperwork to take a peek at. I won't read all of this to you because it's kind of a lot, but I love that we get a little bit of story on the back side of this set of instructions for our vehicle. So I'm going to make sure that there's really good framing and focus on each section of this so that if you want to read it, or even just appreciate the beautiful artwork, it'll be really easy for you to pause and soak it in at your own pace. That's interesting too. It says fourth in a series. So I guess I'm kind of dropping you in the middle of a story that's already ongoing. But on the other side, we have some wonderful instructions on how to assemble and play with this wonderful toy. I don't know if you can, yeah. So here it's letting you know that a lot of this came on sprues. We didn't have fancy sprue removal tools back in the day. We had to do it with our own bare hands. With twin cannon nozzles facing forward, fit cannon connecting bar into notches on both sides of body. It's very interesting to be able to relive the thrill of snapping your brand new toy together and imagine the fear that you felt when you were worried, am I about to break this? And then the building excitement as you realized that you were almost done and it was almost time to start playing with your figures. Here you can see the delightful air bladder. They call it the air cannon, but you know, it's kind of fun to say bladder, isn't it? And then here we see where we put our stickers. All right, well, you've waited long enough. Let's actually look at the toy. So first up we have two identical figures. And I'll show them both to you at the same time so that you don't have to believe me. You can, question everything, test everything, make sure I'm not full of it. But yeah, these guys are kind of the army troops of the Air Raiders world. And even though the little bio card on the back of the box gives them different names, they are exactly the same when it comes to the toy. These toys are in a similar vein to Starcom and Mask. These are 2-inch figures with minimal paint, minimal articulation. He's got connected feet. His arms will move on their own, and no head swivel. Unless you want to pop it off. But because these are so simple, they are everywhere. And if you want to collect a huge army of Air Raiders figures, my friend, it will not be difficult. Okay, now we have our vehicle, the Thunderclaw. So first off, let's check out the job that whoever put on these stickers did. I'd say, considering this is almost 40 years old at this point, they did a pretty bang up job. We have the cannons that were mentioned in the bio. We have a little cockpit and a back seat, a rumble seat maybe, for whoever's not driving today to sit in. And we have the indestructible capture claw that was mentioned in the bio. You can see on the bottom there are these little wheels, and these are what allowed it to be launched by the air cannon, which we'll check out in just a second. But one of the things that I really like about these is all of the detail on the underside that no one will ever see when the toy is actively being played with. I mean, really, what a nice gesture to sculpt all of that when it will most of the time being faced to the floor. On the back, we can see where the air cannon goes in. You take your large air cannon / bladder, and you insert it just like a turkey baster right inside, and then you would slam down on this thing as hard as you wanted to, and it would propel this across the kitchen floor or wherever you happen to be playing with your Air Raiders toys. And then if you weren't actively using your Thunderclaw, you could also use these air cannons to launch missiles at the enemy. And these missiles would get lost all the time, because when you launched this thing, the chances were it was going anywhere but where you were pointing it. And where you were pointing it was probably your sibling or your pet, or maybe another Air Raiders toy, who knows. So before we go, we've got to get our fellas into their proper positions. And, you got to support your teammate there and give them a back rub while they obliterate the tyrants of the air. I love Air Raiders, and I have several other sets, some with the box and some with all the parts, and some in great disrepair, in need of extra supplies before they can go back to battle to fight their enemies, whether it's the tyrants or the raiders. So if you like this video, let me know. And if you want to see more Air Raiders toys in this format, don't hesitate to leave me a comment and tell me exactly that. I hope you enjoyed this look at these kind of silly but totally awesome toys from the 80s. Toys that I grew up with and that I still love and probably will be playing with until I die. And until next time, let's all be cool. And I'll be back before you know it with some more awesome stuff.